Great panel, great questions. So we're going to move on now to session 5. I wanted to make one announcement. The marketplace will remain open after we finish today. It will still be open for another half hour. So we really encourage all of you, if you haven't visited it yet, to please go there and take advantage of the wonderful stalls, visit the stalls, collect all the information. It's really a wonderful setup. It'll be open for another half hour after we finish today, and it will also be open tomorrow all day downstairs when we meet downstairs tomorrow in the ballroom. So without further ado, I am going to kindly invite Mr. Hossain from the Director General of Family Planning to come up and introduce the next session, please.
Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to the session 5 of this meeting. I welcome you on behalf of Director General of Family Planning and the Minister of Health and Family Welfare. This session is titled as Learning from Experience, and this would be the session will be led by Mr. Jim Thomas from the University of North Carolina. More importantly, the newly appointed Director of Major Education. Mr. Thomas has a vast experience, actually probably more than 30 years in public health, and has worked extensively in Asia and African countries. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Jim Thomas, who would be moderating the next session. Thank you.
You're going to be hearing very little from me because this is now the time for the countries to be talking to each other. And my purpose is to describe the next session, how it's going to take place. It's a little bit complicated, but there's going to be a lot of people to help guide us through this session. This is about experiences, and each of the countries is going to be talking about the challenges they have faced, the successes they have experienced. They'll have an opportunity to ask questions of others at the tables to see if they have some ideas about how to address some of the challenges that they're facing. There were instructions that were sent out by email to each of the countries, fairly detailed instructions that I am not going to go back over. I'm going to give an example of the kinds of things that you are going to be talking about, and then I'm going to describe the motions that you're going to go through. The example I'm going to take is from Bangladesh, the country that we are in. I was visiting some of their offices yesterday and learned that they have developed in one district a population database that has established unique identifiers, which will now enable the connection with a lot of other databases. So that success of implementing a unique identifier has, I'm sure, lots of stories behind it. There were, I'm sure, lots of challenges in establishing that, and some of them would be with regard to the people interactions, and some of them would be the technical aspects of how to implement a unique identifier. So if they were to be presenting that at a table with the others around that table, they could hear about what those challenges were and how they were overcome. Having established unique identifiers, that now presents a set of new challenges. One of them would be, when you can link data together, you have much power. You have power to connect things, and you have power to also make big mistakes. You can reveal information about people that they don't want revealed. So there are some health data security issues that you have to address. Those are some of the challenges. So I've given you just a brief example of some of the successes and some of the challenges on just that one issue. Each of the countries has come with their own set. So now let's talk about how we're going to do this. We have two rooms. We have this room here, and we have the room where you had lunch. There are going to be 3 countries in this room and 2 countries in the lunchroom at round tables. We are in a few minutes going to break for tea. When you come back from tea, you will find the name of countries on tables. So in this room, you will find 3 of them. One of them, well, let me just name who they are. In this room, there will be a table with a sign on it that says Cambodia. There will be another table with a sign on it that says Myanmar, and a third that says South Africa. Let's just take Myanmar for an example. So let's pretend this is the table where that name is. I don't know where they're going to put it. There's Gabby is holding up that sign. So it's going to be on a table. Only one person from Myanmar needs to be at that table. But that person needs to be ready to talk, to make a presentation. One of you, I'm looking at Myanmar now, came with a presentation. And yes, they're nodding yes. Now it could be on a laptop, it could be on paper, it could be in your head. It doesn't really matter. You just need to be prepared to talk about some successes and some challenges that you have faced in strengthening your measurement and accountability in your country. You are to talk for no more than 15 minutes. 12 would be great, but no more than 15. And then the remaining 15 are for questions and answers for the others at the table. So Myanmar is not alone there. Others have joined her, and they are listening to her talk. So we may have Bhutan there, we may have Cambodia, we may have others who are not representing a particular country like myself. I'm with a project. So others can be at that table. Let's try not to overwhelm any single table. Let's try to spread ourselves out. There's going to be lots of opportunities for follow-up with other sessions. We're doing this 3 times. I did mention this was complex, right? We're doing this 3 times. So what about the other person from Myanmar? There's just 2 of you? So what about the other person from Myanmar? She can go to another table. She can go and listen to Cambodia or to South Africa. Then we will, what kind of a noise will we make to say that the half hour is over? Will we shout? We'll walk through, we'll tap you on the shoulder or something and say, okay, that half hour is over. Now we're going to shift. The countries that are in this room will remain the same, but the countries in the other room are going to change because we have a large enough number that we've got to move things around. I don't want you to worry about who's moving where. We will tell you. But there will be some movement around. Let's go back to Myanmar. They will be here again for the second half hour. If the same presenter can stay, or they can switch out and let the other person go wander around. It's up to you. It's up to you how you want to handle that. And then we'll do it one more time. So we're doing this 3 times, and we're doing it quickly, in part to keep you awake. In part. But also in part so that you can hear a lot. And then, we're not done. Then what comes is another period where it's just Myanmar talking to itself. The 2 women from Myanmar will have a chance to collect their thoughts. This is what I heard from Cambodia. This is what I heard from Bhutan. This is what I heard from Indonesia. And they'll just start comparing notes. The rest of you who are not representing a country, who are from USA, who are from Measure Evaluation, you are free to go to the marketplace, to wander around while the countries are doing their discussions. We have some people who are designated to act as resources for them, so those people will remain, but the rest are free to go about where they will. So let me see, I've tried to make that as complicated as I can. Have I succeeded? Have I? Okay. Mission accomplished. So somebody asked me a question about this. Somebody have a question? Can I make it more complicated? Okay, you can only use your right foot when you're moving from room to room. Just your right foot. Scabby or Sean, anything that should be added to this?
No, I think we will be with you along the process. So it's complicated, but we're here to guide you. So as Jim said, we're going to have a little 15-minute break now where you can get some tea, and it also gives a chance for the countries to set up. Jim said, I'm just going to repeat, in this room we'll have Cambodia, Myanmar, and South Africa. And then in the lunchroom, where you all got your lunch, we'll have 2 countries, and that will be Bhutan and the Philippines.
So that leaves that two countries have said, wait, what about us? Your time will come. Your time will come when we will let you know.
Round 2.
Yeah. Let's go have tea.
Okay.
And also we need to train in the hospital side. We are another training on the ICD assessment on the data flow, which is the visual unit from the sustained levels, and also the data generations from the register and assessment.
Health sector performance, and it will collect data. So they will call the attention of the village executives why particular data indicator or analyze the collection of health data. So it will identify this is the set of indicators, what schedule data collection, so it will not overlap, because we have an instance where the family health survey and the national demographic health outcome indicator, so they are collecting all health outcome indicators. And so we cannot see so much meaningful decision making and real
50. Okay. That this variant of health information in Cambodia. We set up for have a strategy.
Information System Policy Council. And so I'll talk to some of the genuine or some of the key factors, but to say that the National Health Normative Standards Framework for Interoperability in e-health in South Africa, that was and then I will then talk to
our system was not is not as good as we imagined data. We have a very not a very good system of recording cost of that data. Especially also 74% of the deaths were occurring outside of the health facility. And also we have just finished setting our targets for the CRB's ticket. I'm pretty sure the mission of Ministry of Health is to, vision of Ministry of Health is to build a healthy and happy nation through a dynamic professional health system, attainment of highest standard of health by the people within the broader framework of overall national development and spirit of social justice and equity. So, new as well to for the technological side, I guess.
Over here now, and I think is it Nepal over there? Tariq, Nepal. So I want to ask the countries to please take their seats and the people who are going to listen to them. Those of you who are not at a table but still want to talk, I want to ask you to do so out in the common area, because it's hard for people at the tables to hear each other when there's a lot of people talking in the room.
Yeah, they are planning to increase that from 9 to 10%. is the national health policy. And
we still have to go to the terminal level. Terminal level, we have their own health facility, which is 20,000.
From standards and interoperability, yes, like I said, we have health data dictionary, but it's still version 1. And then, yeah, like I said, we revise primary health center information, establish online data communication, and family health system report development.
I think Philippines will be where Cambodia was. Find a table, and those of you who are not going to be at a table and you still want to talk, please go out into the hallway and talk there, but we'd rather that you stay here. We'd rather that you join one of the tables. So just to repeat, Nepal is over there. They are repeating. Philippines, they had a break and now they're back. Philippines is here. Indonesia back in the corner, and Bhutan over in this corner. If you are not sitting at a country table, please take your conversation out of the room, because when we have so many people talking, we can't hear.
But any suggestion to how this is going?
Okay, we have reached the end. If you're still talking, that's a good sign, but I'm going to be talking over you. Don't leave the room. We have locked the doors. You can see we have a guard at the door, so you can't leave. We're moving into the last section of the day. Let me just say, I know you are tired, and I'll be saying a word about that in a minute. But first, Gabby has some announcements to make. Oh, she just walked out. Okay. So I don't want any jokes to kill time, so I'm going to go on with business. So I'll talk about the business end, but then Gabby's going to come in and talk with some announcements about the meeting. So at this point, we shift to the countries talking to each other. So I see Philippines here, and they will talk amongst themselves about the work in the Philippines. Who else? I see Myanmar at the table. You will go to a separate table. You're Bhutan? No? Oh, okay, zero. So you will not be at a table. And you are from the Philippines? You're not from a country either. Well, I mean, you are, but you're not. Okay. I have to pause because the Bangladeshis are coming back in the room. So they need to hear the announcements that Gabby's going to make.
Here's the bell.
Okay, so I'm going to keep talking. So you can sort yourself out into countries, but not right now, please. Let me finish what I'm going to say. So you were sent some instructions for what the countries are to do. You who are representing countries. They came to you in email. I'm looking for knowing signs in your eyes. Do you recognize this? Oh, I see a nod. Okay. So there is a template that looks like this that is to help you consider what your action plans are when you leave this meeting. Not today, but tomorrow. When you leave tomorrow, what your action plans are for priorities to take care of when you return home. Nobody is going to collect this. You can draw pictures on it. You can write notes to your children. Nobody is going to pick this up. It's for you to help you organize your thoughts. But you are going to be held accountable. Tomorrow there is an opportunity, not an opportunity, an expectation that you will present your thoughts. You will present what it is that are your priorities for after you go home. So, you have this room to work in until 5:30. At 5:30, the job of our guard changes. He becomes the bouncer. And he's going to start moving people out. So you have this room till 5:30 and all these tables to meet. It's not a requirement. If you are completely tired and you have no brain cells left, then you might be better off waiting until tomorrow. If you do have some brain cells left, you might be better off getting some momentum and taking advantage of that. Your choice. So take a look at the templates to guide you in the questions that you can begin to answer that will help you form what you will say at the end of the day tomorrow. You will have also some time tomorrow for this task. So now, Hossain, is there anything more about what needs to be said on that particular thing?
I don't think so. I think we'll go over things again a little bit tomorrow in the session. So it's just, and if you're not attached to a country, if you can observe country groups, but it's for the country groups to work on their own. There's other groups who are having to provide questions and answers to each of you as you're working on your action plan. So use the resources that are here when you're working on the plans. But the idea is you sit down and start thinking about things together. And we'll have time tomorrow. We'll go over the instructions again tomorrow if you have any questions and you had a chance to read them.
Gabby, it's your turn.